The general shape of this legislation has been clear from its first iterations, that it will hurt people who make less money. It'll hurt poor people, working people, middle-class people.
We see broadly that this tax bill is unpopular and that the overwhelming majority of the American people believe clearly the benefits do go to the wealthy.
It does appear today could be a Tax Cut Tuesday. The House and the Senate set to vote on sweeping rewrite of the U.S. tax law.
Those seem to be negative connotations. A lot of people aren't for it.
They don't like it.
Here's the thing. That's how a lot of the mainstream media are presenting it, as a giveaway to the rich. Newt Gingrich is a Fox News contributor, author of Vengeance. He joins us right now. Newt, what do you make of how the mainstream media are depicting this big tax cut?
They lie.
Okay.
I mean, you have to start out with that understanding. They hate Trump. They're just stunned that he's pulling this off. They disagree with people like Paul Ryan, who for his entire career has talked about creating jobs, reducing taxes on working Americans. They want to have high taxes and big food stamps and lots of welfare. We want to have low taxes, lots of jobs, and lots of take-home pay. These are antithetical worldviews. And the result is, here's what's happening. All of the elite media is lying about the tax cuts. So they, day after day after day, they lie about it. And then you go to the average American and say, what do you think? And they say, well, gosh, based on what I've heard, I guess I'm against it. Then the media says, oh, my gosh, this is an unpopular tax cut. Wait until February or March, and the president has already indicated they're going to change the tax the tables as of February 1. Wait till people get doubling of their deduction. Wait till the child tax credit comes in dramatically higher. Wait at doubled. Wait until we see job creation. Wait until that average small business suddenly has a big tax cut, more money at home, able to hire more people. And wait till people who don't currently have a job suddenly find out, as the president said the other day, it's not just about getting one job, but what if you had a choice of 3 or 4 jobs because the economy is doing so well?
Yeah.
This is the Reagan gamble. It was the John F. Kennedy gamble. And the left is going to lose this gamble. And the Democrats who vote no this week are going to pay a price this fall for having decided to take more money out of the American people.
Why isn't there just at least 1 or 2 Democrats that are coming? I mean, if you look at the numbers, the narrative that they're spreading is that the middle class is going to be hurt. But if you look at all the numbers, we've had experts on for weeks talking about this. And if you look at the numbers, that's not true.
Look, the Democrats have become the muskox party. They gather in a herd like muskox. They all stand together. They're terrified of being individuals. They all do the same thing with it that somehow magically their left tells them to do. I mean, for a senator from North Dakota or a senator from West Virginia or a senator from Indiana or Missouri to vote no on this tax bill is almost suicidal. Once it sinks in, if the Republicans run an aggressive campaign this year based on reality, it just says, look, do you like lower taxes and more take-home pay? Do you like more jobs? Do you like companies investing in the U.S. instead of overseas? All these things are starting to happen in a big-time way. Steve Moore, who's a great economist, has a good article out in which he's predicting we'll probably get to 4% real growth next year. Well, that would be so much higher. That would be 2 years of growth, on more than 2 years of growth under Obama in 1 year. I think this is all a gamble, you know.
And 2018 could end up with immigration. I believe that's next. And then they'll do infrastructure, which is going to be hard for Democrats to sit out of because they've always said that's what they wanted. So I want to bring you to the, if I can, the latest chapter in this investigation. You know, last week was all about these revelations about the higher-ups on this investigation and what they might evolve with and what their political agendas are. I want to bring you to the one text message that needs some answers, and maybe Andrew McCabe can give it to us today. He's the deputy director of the FBI. This from Peter Strzok to Linda Page. To Lisa Page. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, meaning Andrew McCabe, assume to that there's no way he gets elected. But I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. And today in the Wall Street Journal, they asked people that know, and they think that he was referring to the investigation that we're now experiencing. I actually don't think that makes him look any better. What's your take on these texts?
Well, let me ask you, first of all, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Andrew McCabe the same person whose wife as a Democratic candidate.
Yes.
Got $900,000, excuse me, running for the state Senate. So you have somebody there whose wife's getting $900,000 from the Democratic Party, holding a meeting in which, and I'd like to know, what's the plan?
Yeah.
What is it that they briefed him on? I mean, he should be required under oath. Remember, we're playing this game here where Hillary Clinton never goes under oath, but all the Trump people go under oath. McCabe should be put under oath and should be asked, what was the plan? Second, why did not you recuse yourself? I mean, the idea that McCabe in any way could be neutral is crazy. Third, why is this guy still in the FBI?
Right.
I mean, don't tell me you just shipped him to a different place. They clearly have a bad apple who was consciously trying to undermine the next president of the United States using the criminal powers of the federal government. I mean, that is really dangerous stuff that leads you a big step away from the rule of law and towards the kind of behavior you see in third world countries.
I do believe Andrew McCabe did recuse himself 1 week before the election, but I could be wrong. Meanwhile, Newt, yesterday, the President of the United States went down the street from the White House to the Ronald Reagan building, where he unveiled essentially what's being referred to as the Trump Doctrine. It's the national security strategy. Usually, presidents don't do it in their first year, and they just hand it in so that people have a record of it. He was proud of essentially putting to paper what he had said out on the campaign trail, that the world is a dangerous place and he's going to do his best to keep us safe. What'd you make of it?
Look, anybody who cares seriously about American safety should read the actual paper, the National Security Strategy paper, which the president referred to in his speech, as well as reading the speech. Here is an effort in a very serious way, and it's good that he did it at the Reagan building, because Ronald Reagan would have absolutely been proud of him. Trump is saying to all of us, unless the American economy is strong, unless we are capable of affording the right kind of national defense, unless we are wise about how we use our resources, we're not going to be able to protect ourselves, and we live in a dangerous world with a variety of real threats. If you read the actual paper, and I have, I can tell you this is a profound national security strategy. It is the biggest change, I think, since Reagan in 1981 set out to defeat the Soviet Empire. And it is in the tradition of Truman's NSC-68 and Reagan's strategy, and is the end of this globalization idea that somehow the world's all going to love us, we're all going to live in peace forever, we don't have to worry about protecting Americans. I mean, I think this is the end of the international elite's dream that they could reduce American sovereignty to being run by diplomats and lawyers.
No apology. Thanks, Newt Gingrich.
Sorry, China. Sorry, Russia. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks.